Hi there, I'm Samuel, and today I'm going to be showing you a quick overview of how to set up and configure a Shopify site. For this, we'll be using this demo store that I made, Casual Radiance. Let's take a quick look at the store. So as you can see, it's got a big banner image with some text and a button. Down here, we've got some hot products. Down here, we've got some categories. Here we have some images and text. A little bit further down, we have some blog posts. And here we have an email sign up. If we take a look at the top navigation here, you can see that there's drop-down menus for navigation items. Let's go into one of the collections, necklaces. Here we can see the products that are part of this collection. Let's take a look at one of them. Here we can see this product, its image, its title, price, description, and we've also got a stock counter at the top, which is an app that has been installed into the Shopify site. We can also see that there are two variants to this product, a turquoise variant and an amethyst variant, and clicking on each one changes the image that's displayed. So that was just a quick overview of this site. Let's get stuck into it. After you create your Shopify store, you should end up on this page, the Shopify admin page. On this page, there are three important areas that we're going to be taking a look at today. Those areas are the Products tab, the Online Store tab, and the Settings tab at the bottom. Let's take a look at some products. As we can see, here are some products that are currently in the store. On each product row, you can see a little preview of the product's featured image, the product's title, the status of whether it's active, meaning that it's displayed to customers on the store, or in draft, meaning that it's hidden from customers on the store. The inventory level, the sales channels. Here we can see there's two, online store and point of sale, which we can see down here as well, online store and point of sale. There's also markets, which we can see this is my home country, Australia, and the primary market for this store, and the alternative market, the international, which covers all the other countries in the world. You can also see type and vendor, but these aren't as important. So let's take a look at a product. Here we can see the most important information here, the title, the description, and the images. This first image in the big box here is the featured image. This is the one that will be displayed most prominently for the product. As we move down the page here, we can see that there are some variants for this product. Along the type of color, there are two variants, turquoise and amethyst. And here we can see that we can edit the properties of each of these variants separately. So we could have one that's at a different price than the other. We can set what stock for each item there is. And we can create more variants like so. And at the bottom here, we've got a search engine listing. This is how search engine results for this product in particular will display for people searching on the internet. On the right side of this page, and if your screen is narrow, this right side might be merged into the left side here. We can see we can set the status from active to draft. We can see the sales channels, the markets, and down here we've got product organization. The most important part of this section is the collections field. Here we can set what collections this product is a part of, and so configure what groups it will be displayed as a part of. Finally, if we go to the top here, we can see the preview button. If your screen is narrow, this might be hidden under the More Actions drop-down menu. And if we click it, we can see a preview of this product. like so. Just like we saw earlier, it can change the variance, and it has the price, description, and other images below. Now that we've seen what a product looks like, why don't we make one ourselves? We can do this on the products page with the big green Add Product button at the top right. And here we can set some description details like title. Let's just call this test product. Let's write a description. And let's add an image for a product. As you can see, when we've added the image, it takes the featured image spot, meaning it will be displayed as the primary image for the product. When you have multiple images, like so, you can use the 6-dot handle to drag them into different positions to change which image is the featured one. As we move down, we can see we can set a price. Down here, the cost per item field allows you to keep track of your accounting by keeping track of the cost of goods sold as well as the profit and margin. Here we can set whether to track quantity and what quantity is available. So let's set this just to 1. And while we're at it, let's go back up and add a price. Let's set this for $80. We could also set a compare at price, which is effectively a discounted, striked out price. So if we set this at 100, it will show $100 striked out and then the actual price of $80 to tell customers that this product is on discount. So let's save these changes. Always remember to save your changes in Shopify by clicking this big green button in the top right here. There we go, the product has been created. You can see this is just like the product that we saw before. It's got images, description, title. It's active, which means this one will actually be seen by customers on the store. Since this one's a bit odd, we might want to set it to draft, but let's keep it as active for now so that we can demonstrate. So looking at some of the options here, we can scroll down and we can see the track quantity setting. This means that Shopify's internal system will track the quantity of the item. In this case, we have 1 in the system, and when a customer, purchases an item off your store, this will go to 0 automatically because it's using the Shopify internal tracking system. Alternatively, you could use a separate tracking system, but you'd have to connect that to the Shopify system, which can be a bit difficult. Moving down, we can see shipping. For a physical product, you can set the weight. I don't recommend doing this because it's a bit time consuming and not very useful unless necessary. Down here, we can see variance. Let's add a variant. Let's add a size variant. And you can see as we add it, we have to enter each of the different values. Let's enter small, medium, and large. And then we click done. This product now has 3 variants. Each variant can have its own individual image, its own price, its own quantity, and other information as well. Since these products are of different size, let's change their price so that the small item is cheapest and the large item is most expensive. Finally, at the bottom here, the search engine listing. Here's where we can control what potential customers will see if this product is displayed on their search engine results. For example, instead of just writing the name of the product, we could write something more like best offer ever, 100% pure cotton, to create lasting relationships. something that sells at a bit more than that. We can also edit the description here, like so. Edit. And you can see how you can use these to control what people will see on the page of the search engines. And here we also have the URL handle, which isn't very important for us right now. Now, up here on the right-hand menu, we've talked about product organization before, the most important field of which is collections, where we can set this to be part of an existing collection. Let's set it to be part of necklaces, just for example. Now, there's also some other fields here. These fields are not as important generally, but let's talk about them very quickly. Product category is mostly used for US tax codes because each different product category can apply a different taxation rate. These are sometimes used for navigation as well, but mostly just US tax codes in my experience. It's totally fine to leave this blank, and it's not a very important field generally speaking. Down here further, the other potentially important field is the tags field. Here we can set some information about this product that users can search or filter it by. For example, here we have an image with a blue t-shirt. So why don't we add the tag of blue to it? This will show up on user search results as they search your store. So this looks all pretty good. Let's save our changes. And now let's take a look at what the product looks like with the preview button up the top here. As you can see, the discount is here. $100 has been discounted down to $70. It's on sale. And here we have the different variants, although these two variants are striked out because there's no inventory for them at the moment. Let's change that real quick. Down here we can see the medium and large have no inventory on hand. Let's just give them a bit of inventory. Save. And then preview the product again. And now we can see there's multiple variants. We click here, we can see the price changes. And if we'd set an image, the image would also change as well. So that's how you make a product. Now, why don't we take a look at collections, how products are grouped together to display for your customers. Here is the collections page. As you can see, there's quite a few collections on this store already. Each collection has a preview image, if an image has been applied, the title, and how many products is in the collection. For automated collections, which is collections that automatically include products, there can be conditions that they use to collect those particular products in them, which you can see here as well. Let's take a look at one of the manual collections. Here, necklaces. As we can see, it has a title, description, and an image, just like a product. And down here, we can see the products that have already been added to this collection. We can see it has a search engine listing, just like a product, and that there aren't too many more options here. Since this is a manual collection, we can add more products by searching in this bar right here. For example, we could type in test, and we can see the test product that we just added to this collection recently. Let's view the collection page by clicking this view button up the top right. As we can see, the item that we just added, this new product, is part of this collection. And we can see the sale on this page as well. These are all the products of this collection. And you can filter any collection by filters here and order them by these options here. Now that we've seen a collection, why don't we make one ourselves? So let's click this big green Create Collection button at the top right. Let's create a manual collection. and we'll just call it test items. And the description will just say for testing purposes. Let's not bother with an image, and let's save it. Once you save a manual collection, you'll be able to add products to it. So here we can see we can add products, so let's do test, and we can see the two test products. Let's add them both. Of course, this second one is in draft, so we won't actually see it on the storefront. And now we have two products here. We can click view, and you can see only the product that's active will be displayed, and this is test items. Now that we've made a manual collection, let's try making an automated collection. We're going to create a new collection again, and we're going to call it blue items. And now let's give our collection a little description. Blue colored products. As you can see, automated is the default collection type, but let's select it anyway. And here we can set the conditions that will automatically pick out products from the products listed on our store. So we can do things like go cheap products, which would be price is less than $100 perhaps. But for this case, we're going to do product tag is equal to blue for this blue collection of blue items. Again, let's not bother with an image. Let's click save. And as you can see, a product has automatically been added to this collection. It's the test product, which we gave the tag of blue. If we look in here, we can see the blue tag. There it is. Of course, you can remove these collections and tags from this product by clicking the little X button next to them. But these blue items are automatic collections that his product has been automatically put into, so you can't directly remove them. Now that we've had a little look at products and a look at collections, let's move on to the online store. As you can see, as we hover over the online store, a little eye appears. You can click this to view what customers are currently seeing of your store, the live theme. But let's start by just clicking on the online store tab itself. We can see it expands and it automatically navigates us to the themes tab in the expansion. This is where your store's themes all live. This top theme here is the live theme. It's the one that customers are actually seeing. Each theme is a configuration of the display of your store. So you can edit and customize each different display as you see fit, and then store the ones that you're not using below. These ones below here could be something like an old version of a theme that you want to save as a backup, or a new version of a theme that isn't quite ready for customers' eyes yet. Or it could just be testing and experimenting with new ideas. At any rate, all of these are invisible to your customers. All the themes in the theme library are invisible to your customers. It's only this theme at the top here is the live theme that your customers will see. So now that we know that, let's take a little view of this live theme by going back to the online store and clicking the eye. As you can see, it's the page that we've seen before, the front page of the store, and we can navigate around just like we did before. And you can see our newly created test product is on this page as well. So let's close this. Another way to get to the live theme is by the three dots here, and you can click preview. This is how you can see any of the themes in your store. So for example, this one down here, this theme isn't quite ready for customers' eyes yet. Let's preview it for a moment. As you can see, there's some assets missing. this banner image hasn't been properly placed. Everything's look a bit messy. There's some strange effects going on. This is just essentially a theme for testing. Customers will never see this, so it's fine. Back here on the themes page, let's look at some of the other tools that you have at your disposal. On the three dots icon, you can see the option to rename themes. This can help you keep your theme library organized so that you know what each theme does. So we could say main live theme right here. There we go, we've renamed it. You can also, when you want to make changes to a theme and you're worried about whether or not those changes will be kept, the best thing to do is to duplicate the theme. As you can see, it's copying it right here. And with this separate theme, you can make the changes that you want to make without the fear of it, for example, altering something on your live site. The other important option on this page is to publish a theme. That will make whichever theme it is the main live theme instead. So if let's rename this really quick. Duplicated version. And let's click publish, and you'll see that the duplicated version gets put into the live theme instead. Publish. And there we go. The duplicated version is now up here instead. The main live theme has been pushed down. The duplicated version is now the live theme of the store. You might be wondering where themes actually come from, because there's lots of different themes with different names that you can start your store with. Well, if you scroll down here, you'll see popular free themes, which is essentially an ad for Shopify's free themes. But here at the bottom, we've got a link to visit the theme store. And here we can see all the different themes that Shopify allows you to have on your store. Keep in mind that Shopify isn't the only platform that has themes that you can purchase and download. So you can filter by free or paid here, and you can see that some of the themes have price tags and they seem quite expensive. However, these themes have been made with the help of designers and developers in order to perfect them and have features that would be very difficult for anyone to recreate, at least on the same budget, on any other store. So even though the price tag is a bit intimidating, it's usually worth it. As you can see, there's a great range of themes here. Another place you can find themes is on the theme forest. Let's go into a theme like this one. Here we can see for any theme, even if it's a paid theme, you can try the theme for free by clicking the Try Theme. This will let you use the customizer for the theme and see all its features in action, but you won't be, if it's a paid theme, you won't be able to publish it as your live theme until you purchase it. And here we can see some of the things that this theme has made, and more down here as well. Let's go back to the themes page. Scrolling back up, we can see that each theme has a Customize button next to it. These Customize buttons will take us to the customizer of each theme. So let's click the Customize button of the live theme and we'll be able to change some of the things that display on that page. And this is the page that you'll see. In the middle, we have a view of what the theme looks like. On the left here, we have a big menu of all the components that make up this visual. And on the right here, as we click on these components, for example, the image banner at the top here, we can see settings for that component. If your screen's a bit narrower, this settings panel might replace this panel until you click the back button at the top, the little left pointing chevron arrow. As you can see, the image has been selected from this part of the settings feature, and we can change what image it is. For example, we could change it to the couple holding hands instead. And you can see now a new image will be displayed for users visiting the page. At the top right here, we have the Save button where we can save our changes, but we also have an Undo and Redo button so we can decide which changes we actually want to keep. So let's undo that. Next to the Undo and Redo button, we have this little monitor icon. Using this, we can see how users on different screen sizes will preview this theme. For example, let's switch to the mobile view. And as you can see, users on a mobile device will see the page in a different way. Shopify's sections handle this transition seamlessly. Let's go to full screen instead. This is a lot more like the page that we see on our normal desktop. Let's go back to desktop. On the left here, we can see these different sections. Each of them correspond to a large chunk of the display. For example, the image banner is this big image here along with the text on top of it, which we can see here. This featured collection down here displays one of our collections from our collections tab on here and all the products from that collection, or as many as we allow according to the settings. As you can see, only 3 are allowed here. Moving down, we can see each of these big visual sections has a corresponding section tab on the left here. So let's add a new section. You can see at the bottom of the page here, above the footer, you can add a section to the page. Let's create a featured product for the product we created earlier. As you can see, this is blank. We have to select which product we want. Let's select the product we recently created, which is the test product here. Click this and then click select. This is now the product being displayed by this section. And as you can see, the variants transfer over. Let's assume that we don't want this featured product to be at the bottom of the page. So let's move it up to the top. We can click and drag this 6-dotted handle to move it up or down the page like so. Let's move it all the way to the top. As you can see, it's now at the top of the page, but maybe this is too far. Let's move it down below the image banner. There we go. You can also see a little eye icon. Using this, you can hide a section from users. This way, you can keep the section in your editor so that you can revive it later, but anyone on the view of the theme won't be able to see it. In the customizer, you can navigate around your page, your site, by using this top drop-down menu. Here we can see products, collections, pages, blogs, blog posts, and more. So if we go into products, we'll see that even though we have 7 products, there's only one product here. These 2 are from an app. So on your store, you'll probably only see 1. And if we go here, we can see that this is actually a product template. So it actually applies to all of the products. And we can change which product we're showing on the template with this preview on the left here underneath the product type, the product template name. We can click change, and then we can select which product we want to show on the template, like so. And that's the product that we're currently seeing. Changes made on this page will affect all products in the same way. The products just basically insert their own information, like their own image, their own titles, their own descriptions onto the template. But the template is the same for all the products. We can also see over here on the far left, we've got 3 little icons. The top is sections, which is what we're already seeing. The second is theme settings. These are settings that apply to the entirety of the theme. For example, under colors, you can change the different colors of buttons. For example, let's change this one to a bright blue. As you can see, buttons like this one will automatically change as you change the colors here. Alternatively, under typography, we have the fonts being used and what their scale is. We can make the fonts bigger, and you can see that the fonts are now being displayed. Some of the fonts are being displayed bigger. Finally, we have app embeds. This is where you configure apps that have a visual effect on your store. For example, the Scarcity Pro shows the stock up here, and if we turn it off, it will be hidden instead. And now that we've had a quick look at the customizer, let's go and have a look at the apps. So let's click this top button at the top left here to exit. And let's not save these changes because I don't want the store to reflect any of the changes I've just made. So on the left here, underneath the online store, we can go down until we see the apps tab. Here's where all the apps will display if they're pinned. If you click on the apps tab here, we can see all the installed apps on the side, even the ones that haven't been pinned underneath here. If we go on recommended apps here, we'll get some apps that Shopify recommends for you to have. But most of the time, you'll be wanting to find your own apps. And the way you do that is by clicking this button at the bottom here, the Shopify App Store. And as you can see, this is a page where all the apps for Shopify live. You can use this search bar to search for apps, like for example, let's search for urgency. And here we can see all the different apps relating to urgency in some way. You can see the star rating, the number of reviews, and whether the app is completely free, has a free plan, or only has paid plans. Let's pretend to add an app for a moment. Here we can see the Add App button to add this app to our store. Before you click this, you might just want to quickly check by hovering over your icon here that the store name being displayed, in this case Casual Radiance, is the same as the store name that you want to add the app to. This can sometimes cause problems when you click to add an app and it adds it to the wrong store. If this is not showing the store that you want to add the app to, just log out and then log back in and make sure to select the store that you're adding the app to as you log back in, and then this will show the store that you want to add it to. So let's add this app. Here we can see the install app page, and on this page you'll see the permissions that the app needs. All apps need some kind of permission in order to perform their functionality. If I was to click this install app button, it would add this app to the store. But I don't want to do that right now, so instead I'm just going to click cancel. And finally, last but not least, let's look at the settings button at the bottom left of the store. As you can see, this brings up a great big panel with a whole bunch of settings. But let's just look at the 5 most important tabs. First of all, the store details. Here you can change the name of your store, the email address you'll be receiving updates and communications with customers from, as well as setting phone number, your billing information, store currency, time zone, and units of measurement, which are all important to be accurate. Moving down to users and permissions, this is the page where you can add staff to your store, other people that can help you set up and run your store from the Shopify admin. Moving down to payments, we can see this is how you integrate payment gateways into your Shopify store. As you can see, the top option here is to activate Shopify payments. Shopify Payments is largely recommended because it's easy to access and has good competitive rates. However, you can set up other providers with this link down here. You can also set up other payment methods such as Shopify and manual payments down here. If we go on to the See Other Providers page, you can see there's a whole bunch of different providers offering different payment gateways and different options. As you can see, AirWallex has Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and more. The one that you might be interested in on this page in particular is the Bogus Gateway. You can type in the search bar Bogus to make sure it shows up. The Bogus Gateway allows you to create pretend orders on your store. When you go through the checkout process with items in your cart, you can fill out all the address and bank account details, such as credit card number, with dummy information, and it will still create a seemingly correct order on your store in order so that you can test that your whole process is working properly. As you can see here on the Bogus Gateway page, we have a little bit more information about how to do that, such as using a 1 in place of a credit card number to simulate an approved transaction. You can get more information about this with this link here, and you can activate it using this button at the bottom here. Moving on, let's look at shipping and delivery. This is important. So here, if you see under this first section, shipping, general shipping rates, you can click manage, and here is where you can set all the shipping rates and conditions and create separate shipping zones. As you can see, I've got a domestic shipping zone for my country, Australia, and an international shipping zone, which contains all the other countries on the world. You can edit shipping details from this page. I won't get into the details. Moving up here to taxes and duties, here you can select each country and make sure that you set up the proper taxation process for them, such as collecting goods and services tax in Australia. And that's it. That's an overview of the most important parts of setting up a Shopify store. Thanks for listening.